Welcome to the January 16th, 2024 Parma City School District Board of Education Special Work Session. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of Allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please, Mr. Nucio.
Ms. Kohar.
Here.
Ms. Kerpick.
Present.
Mrs. McTaggart.
Here.
Mr. Ruda.
Present.
Mr. Vaughn.
Present.
Unless there is an objection, we will dispense with the reading of the special meeting notice. Dr. Smilak, can you please confirm that this meeting is currently being live streamed?
Test.
Please monitor the live stream throughout the public portion of this meeting, and if there's a problem, please speak up immediately so that the technical difficulty can be addressed.
We will.
All right, as a reminder, work sessions are held by the Board of Education to provide its members an opportunity to discuss matters. Community members are welcome and encouraged to attend. However, they are not permitted to participate unless the board specifically asks for input. I move to adopt Resolution 2024-01-26, approval of the written record of proceedings from the January 11th, 2024 regular and special Board of Education meetings.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adopt Resolution 2024-01-26. Are there any questions or comments from the board? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Mr. Ruda.
Yes.
Mrs. Mc.
Yes.
Ms. Kohar.
Yes.
Ms. Kerpick.
Yes.
Mr. Vaughn.
Yes.
Resolution 2024-01-26 has been approved. That brings us to Dr. Smilak.
Thank you to the board for assembling at sort of a non-traditional time here on a Tuesday night. As you know, we have been working with the impact group through a series of analyses that they will walk us through sort of a conversation protocol to talk about the strengths and weaknesses of our district in an effort to eventually come to us with a strategic plan. This is, again, phase one of sort of input and data gathering, and they will come back to us at various phases throughout this process. The senior leadership team last week went through the same exercise, and I think we had a very productive conversation, very open conversation. This evening, this is specifically for the board, so Mr. Nucio and I are obviously here, but we will not participate. We look forward to hearing your input and actually, eventually seeing how that works its way into a strategic plan. Tom Rounds is here from the Impact Group. Tom will lead this conversation. He led last week's conversation, and he will lead most of the conversations, if not all of them, as we work through this process. Tom?
Can you guys hear me with the microphone?
Yes.
All right, that's a good start. I'm so excited to be here. Tom speaks. Is that audio all right? Seems a bit echoey. Well, yeah, I'm so excited to be with you all. We're going to begin talking about the strategic plan with you tonight. There's really three big phases here. The phase one is what we're in right now. We did this with the administration last week, in which we talked about the vision. What is our big vision? Where do we want to go as a district? Then strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats. Based upon where we are right now, what do we build upon? The last piece we're going to go through today is a cultural piece. Any culture that is really amazing is not an accident. It's a very intentional, purposeful thing, and we want to talk about that. So after we get done with that today, the idea is we'll then take that information and the administrative piece, and then we're going to go and talk to the community. We have focus groups lined up with your students, with parents, with community groups, with a lot of different people. We're going to make sure you guys have a list of when those different groups are. When those groups occur, the idea is that we want people to be able to speak freely. So what we're doing is we're having, an administrative individual will come in and introduce us, whatever, but then they're going to step out, because the idea is we really want to hear what's on people's hearts, and we actually ask the board members as well to kind of respect that, because it's funny, I found that generally people are really nice, and in being nice, that they don't want to hurt feelings. We want to get the people in the middle, not the people that are really nice, not the people that are really upset, but the people that got a lot of things. So we're going to do that. We're also going to be doing a phone poll. I'm sorry, not a phone poll. We're going to be doing a online poll with your parents and community, as well as with your parents, community, as well as staff. So we're going to have those pieces going, and we're going to be doing individual phone calls with a group of individual guys identified. The idea is that with a focus group, Political leaders aren't coming to a focus group, or the head of a big corporation is not going to come, but they have valuable insight, and we want to make sure we hear what they say, so we'll do individual calls with them. Once we get the information, we're then going to develop logical goals and objectives with best practices. We'll then come back and present those to you guys and the administration, saying this is logically what we heard from the district and from everyone, and then we'll then at that point decide goals. A goal is something, again, forgive me, but very large. A goal is external communications. We're going to communicate the value Parma City Schools gives to the community. An objective might be something specific we're going to do. I'm making this up. Build a new website, because you can wrap your mind around it. We're going to build a new website to drive the external communications. We will then decide with you what the goals and objectives are. Once we agree with that, the final piece is we go to your administrative team, and this is where we get tactical. What we'll do is we'll go and we'll say, gosh, we have, goal 1 is external communications, objective 1 is build a new website. Who on the team should do that? And then the person in the team says, that should be mine, great. And then we develop a timeline. When the baseline put together, when we have recommendations, when we have implementation and measurement. So at that point now we've got very, very tactical who is doing what, when, and how is it measurable. Does that make sense? Okay, so I've got you just for an hour here, so I want to run you guys through this exercise. I want to begin very high level. Strategic plans, they begin hugely broad. And at the end, it is who is doing what when, right? So in a very, very broad sense, I want you to picture yourself, it's 3 years from now. It is January of 2027, and we're back in this room. And you as a board are excited because we've done it. There's some things that Parma, like we have achieved some really cool things. So thinking with the end in mind, what does success look like? Well, what are some, like at a high level, what is, like we look back and like, wow, we really achieved some amazing things. What does that look like?
Out of our deficit.
Try the wired mic. It'll sound a little bit better.
It's okay here.
It's okay?
Yeah, I'd rather do this one if we can, but thank you. Appreciate it though, thanks. Okay.
So with that, it's like passing money, just add on to that. So
Say it again.
passing a levy,
Passing a levy.
new money levy.
What else?
For me, it'd be academically being higher up, closer to the top in the state.
Academically higher?
Yes.
What is there a specific amount that we want to rise? Is there anything you have in mind?
Well, I would like to be number 1, but
Sure.
I mean, realistically,
Increase academically?
top 50 of the state. I don't see why that would be a problem for us.
Okay, excellent. What else?
Improved graduation rate?
Improved graduation rate? And honestly, these notes are more for me than for you because you probably can't read them. So don't worry about that. What are other pieces here? Things that like, and think about everything. You guys, there's transportation, there's food service, there's finance, there's facilities, there's curriculum, you do a ton of things. What does success look like?
Well, as far as facilities, we've tried that, and we need the community to be on board with that, which they're not at this point.
Okay.
But it would be no way in by 2027, but it would be nice to start having some new buildings being built.
So in 2027 is the idea like there's an understanding that we need new buildings, that we're heading in that direction?
It would be nice for the general public to realize the need that is actually here on that front.
Yep. That's an important distinction. If you think about, if you're driving to California at night, think about you're driving to get your headlights. The headlights only go so far. I know that California is out there, but you can only see so far. So sometimes, like new facilities, what can we do over the next 3 years to then get us where we want to go? So that's a great thought. What else? What are some things that like, wow, we did it?
I don't know, maybe those all look good.
Okay.
Yeah, increasing academics. I mean, we have plenty of opportunities for the kids here, just making sure that they're taking advantage of them.
Is that your academic rating though, right? So I was just gonna add like third grade reading guarantee, like our third grade scores go higher.
Yeah, I mean,
I know,
if
but
we-
I didn't want to, is that,
No, you're
are you
fine.
lumping that all in one thing, is what I'm saying?
No, that
Or
would
is
be a
this
good,
about our ranking as a school building?
I was saying as
Or
a
system.
school district,
The system, so-
in the state rankings.
Right,
Because
okay,
a lot of people like
so
looking
saying
at it.
third grade guarantee is pretty good. Yeah, good, add that.
Yeah.
Anything about, what do you,
You're not gonna add that?
No, he didn't.
how about,
Okay. Oh, I see.
how about staff? Like staffing, like what, morale, staffing, any thoughts as far as what do we want that to be? What is a good situation as we're moving forward with staff, with morale, with retention, recruiting top talent, all that kind of stuff?
Optimum teacher-student ratio.
Okay? Any ideas
What I
to?
thought of is, they've had to drop a lot of courses because of finances, maybe the ability to restore some of the like languages that they've had.
There we
had
go.
to drop teaching of.
We haven't had to do that recently. That was in
The honor social studies was just.
Well, I know my grandson had to drop Spanish, but maybe that was at the Shiloh.
Excellent, so we're restoring some course offerings, restoring some opportunities.
I'm saying recently, though, we've been adding course offerings for kids. So we've been doing pretty well on that.
So I would like staff morale as a whole throughout the district to be high.
Excellent.
How about, because we have so many different facilities, consistency throughout the different facilities so that people don't feel like this school is better than that school,
Yeah.
so that no matter where their kid goes, they feel that everything is the same.
Yes, it's a consistency in policies and treatment and how it makes sense. Okay, so consistency in facilities, behavior and everything else. Got it, okay?
And I don't know how if this would translate into this anywhere, but I had just read a study, I think it was last week, where it was surveying teachers that had left the profession, and the number one thing that they said was because of discipline.
Discipline?
Because of lack of respect and discipline. So maybe it's
That's right on
some
that.
kind of culture of
thinking the same
respect for your building, your teachers, your classmates, all that kind of stuff.
Excellent.
That's funny, I was thinking the same
Were you-
thing. Oh, yeah, 100%. That was right on it. That's perfect.
Excellent. Those are those things we got to vocalize and create a system around and drive towards. Excellent. And any others? So in a couple of years, if we're out of deficit fiscally, what we need to do, we've passed the levy, we've increased our academics, we're in the top 50, we've improved our graduation rate, we understand that the people in the community understand at least that there's a facility need. We have a culture of respect that our students have with teachers. Our teacher-student ratio has been made better. We are restoring course offerings. The third grade guarantee is included with the increased staff. We have a high staff morale, and we have consistency in behaviors and policies and such between the buildings. Are we in a good place if we can do that?
I think so.
Can we add, just thinking about, I'm trying to read those. I was writing them down so I'd have them. It's all about mental health, I think. More mental health help for some of our student body,
Excellent.
and maybe
Okay.
even our teaching staff.
Having been doing this for a while now, I'm going to tell you that your survey and the rest, that has just been pretty consistent. That seems to be one of the top things that's popping up. Okay, so our vision. This is where we're heading. I'm going to keep circling back to this. Cool. If this is where we're heading, I want to first talk about strengths. What are things that you brag about? What are things that Parma does really, really well? What are things that if we build upon, we can be in a great, we can get out of deficit, we can pass the levy, we can make sure people understand what's happening. We have all of these, we have high staff morale. What do we have that's going really well that we can build upon to get where we want to go?
I'd say our career tech, college credit plus.
Career tech?
Career tech, for sure.
Yeah, career tech, our college credit plus offerings. I mean, we do
Yeah,
have a lot of opportunities for kids.
In-school career, right?
Excellent.
CCP, in school.
So career tech, college credit, what else? What are things
Oh,
we're
yeah,
gonna
that's
rule?
in-house. The CCP is in-house. It's not.
In-house. What else?
We do have a pretty phenomenal staff. I mean, anybody that's had to deal with teachers and principals and stuff would tell you that they absolutely go above and beyond what you would expect.
I guess I appreciate that. I was going to ask you to qualify that. What does that mean? That there's
Well,
a sense that they go above and beyond?
Oh,
They care?
absolutely.
To add to that, I would say that our staff, I put our staff against anybody in the state, really. I've been in enough classrooms and walking through the buildings to see that our staff is pretty sharp.
Okay, excellent. What else? What are some other things we're doing well? Again, think about, this is a massive transportation, food service, curriculum, athletics, arts. There's a ton of things you do. What do you do well?
I think our athletics is pretty good. And I'd have to go by individual sports mostly. Each have done a pretty good job of growing,
Okay.
to make them competitive.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead. I said just to they're making their programs competitive.
Is it artistic offerings?
Yeah, so the plays that they put on, the concerts that they do for the community, it really brings the community together, and it's a chance to show what the kids can do, what the teachers can do.
So it's a nice opportunity for the community to kind of come together and
Yes.
celebrate? Okay,
Yes.
that's great.
Yeah, it was.
In a very positive way.
Yes, it was. That is good stuff.
What else? What are some things that you all feel as though you do pretty well?
What's it?
I think there's good communication between the administrative staff to us and to the
community.
general. I mean, there's a lot of the PCSD and 60 videos, a lot of things that are done that are there for you to consume.
So to admin, to the board, to the school, to the community,
I feel.
what's going well? Because communication is one of those things, it's a vast topic, right? So when you say communication is going well, what about communication to the administration, to the board, or vice versa, or to the schools, to the communities? What's going well?
Any question that we've ever asked gets immediately answered to our satisfaction. We never have to, wonder.
You're speaking from the board perspective now?
Yeah,
okay.
as far as how the senior leadership,
Yeah, excellent.
I think they do a good job of finding ways to communicate that kind of stuff to the public, too.
Okay.
We've had many sessions such as Building Our Futures, where we invite the community to participate in future plans, for example, for new buildings.
Great. How about the mediums that are being used, whether it's social media or your website or print or whatever it is? How is that working as far as getting the information from the district out to the community?
Well, we would think that it's good, but I've had some people tell me they don't see any of it. So I don't know if it's our end or if it's on their end. I'm more inclined to think it's on their end. But I like our monitor. I like our social media presence. Our website could probably be easier to navigate.
Yeah, I agree.
Other than that, I think it's pretty good. I mean, everything's there, you just have to be able to find it. I don't think the navigation of it is all that easy. But I like the fact that we've had that available for people. Everything, I mean, all three, print, social media, and website, so.
And having done this for more than 20 years, I found you will never strike the perfect balance. So someone, if there's too much information or not enough, boy, I wish I had print. I wish I had more social media. So it's just that we've always said that there is no silver bullet as far as a medium. The silver bullet is a message. What's your message? And you communicate that same message over all your mediums relentlessly, So it sounds like you have a good thing going. What else? What else as far as what we're doing well?
I think senior leadership and the board has worked together pretty well. I think they have a team concept where it's, it's everybody has a say kind of a deal, and we all listen to each other,
Okay.
et cetera.
Okay. You can always do more strengths here. What are some challenges? And there's a challenge and a threat, or a challenge and a weakness. The idea is that a threat is something different. A threat is you're standing on the beach and there's a tidal wave coming. You can't do a darn thing about the tidal wave coming. It's going to come, but you can build a shelter, you can prepare for it. That's a threat. A threat is state funding. A threat is something out there. A weakness or a challenge is, what can we do? Are there things that we can stop doing? Are there things we can start doing? How do we get out of our own darn way? I mean, the idea is anytime you're a bunch of human beings, I don't care how good things are going, you can make improvements. So what do we have to do? Again, we want to have a culture where the students respect the teachers. We want to have a place where all the facilities have the similar discussions. We want to pass a levy. We want to have a smaller teacher-student ratio. We want to have a high staff morale. All these things we want to do. Awesome. What's in our way? What are things that we dedicated some resources to?
Community perception.
Community perception.
Yeah, thank you.
Expand on that a little for me, please. What's your perceived perception that they have? What's that?
Well, I don't think they feel like they're getting the bang for the buck, so to speak.
Right.
We have a staff that's amazing, and I know we're doing the work, but the community doesn't see it necessarily.
There's a lot of misinformation or inaccurate information circling around, and I don't know that it's the accurate information is put out there then to, or it's addressed in any way, the inaccurate information or the misinformation.
Right. So as a challenge is the fact that it exists. How do we exist with it, or get out in front of it, or just
Yes,
set the, okay.
right.
Okay.
Yeah, sometimes that stuff that comes out and you don't even know it for a couple weeks.
Right.
All of a sudden, what was that about? What are they talking about?
And let's face it, misinformation is generally a little more juicy, a little more interesting, and that it spreads like wildfire, right? So
Yes.
that's tough, but do you have a mechanism that we're in front of that? And also something you'll hear us talk a lot about is whoever frames the debate wins the argument. And that we find a lot of districts, you've got people kind of chirping from the sides that, gosh, what's your message? Just stay in your positive, kind message, what you're doing, and let the people say what they're going to say. But you drive the message. If we're responding to everybody all the time, it gets diluted. So misinformation is an issue. Okay. What are other challenges?
Communication.
Communication?
You mean to the
And
public?
this is a good example of a lot of
Communication
times
to
some
the
of our
public.
strengths can be our weaknesses too. What about
What you mean is communication to the public?
Getting
From us.
communication out there in a way that is easy for them to receive it, not what's easy for us
Right.
and how we put it out there, but where is the community? Where are they going to get the information easiest?
What is your perception, or what are your thoughts as far where do they want to get their information? Where is the place? Because it's like whack-a-mole, right? I mean, they're all over the
Yes.
place. So
It is whack-a-mole.
where are you hearing from your constituents that, boy, if we only had it here?
That's a good one.
It's not easily obtainable on the website currently.
Okay.
So you can't navigate the website easily.
Okay.
And some of the, when you're on the website looking for information and you're clicking here or there, there's a lot of blank
Okay.
spaces
so
where
we-
information should be and it's not.
Got it. The upgrades there, got it? What else? What are other things you've heard that we could be doing a better job with that?
One of the things that I've found is, because we have so many different buildings, when you're trying to find an event that's going on, you have to know which building that event is on. It would be nice to have like one central calendar for everything, kind of thing, to where you could just go, and see, who's playing football where on Friday without having to go to Normandy's or to go to Valley Forge. It's just one central thing where you can see everything that's going on in the
So like a central
district.
portal or sort of like a central event portal or?
Yeah.
Okay,
For a lot of the community events, sporting events, things like that.
great. Great ideas. What are other challenges you're seeing? That again, we're trying to do all these cool things, right? The mental health for our staff, high morale. We're restoring course offerings. What's in our way?
Mainly the public perception of us. We haven't passed a levy in 13 years, and a lot of what I hear is use your finances better. And that's not true, that anything is being misused. It's just, we are against, what we are. Everything goes up each and every year.
Right.
And without new revenue, and the state's not helping us out, the state's not going to give us more.
So in your mind, what is one of the bigger obstacles we have? There's a perception issue. What's the blocker?
The knowledge of how we got here, I guess, so the community and how they believe we got here in a deficit, where we're facing a deficit, and how we actually got here.
Okay. It's funny, I was talking to a school treasurer not too long ago, and she was saying, I just want everybody to understand school finance. And I'm like, you're the only one. There's nobody else understands it or gets it. The idea is, with stuff like this, I kind of kid, but if we're going to have the community understand that, I mean this in the most respectful way, we got to break it down. As far as with this infographics, we got to break it down into some simpler, this is what it's about. And then we repeatedly say that message again and again and again, and they'll get it. But they're busy. They've got paying mortgages, and kids are at soccer, and mom's sick. The last thing they want to do is get into the 5-year forecast, right? So we got to make it easy. What else?
The draining of resources through non-public schools, and that starts with our legislature.
Okay.
And I don't think there's anything we personally maybe can do about that, but it's a factor.
Okay, would you do me, that's awesome. Hold on to that for threat in a moment, because that's a legit threat which we can't control, but it's coming at us. We got to prepare for it. And any other challenges or things we can do to get out of our own way, or something we need to start?
More community involvement.
What kind of community, if you were to say we did it, we've got some awesome community involvement, in what way? And how do we want the community to engage in a way which benefits the schools?
Well, maybe reaching out to the community stakeholders and getting them involved in helping us spread information, or
Yep.
getting more council members involved,
Yep. Okay.
Chamber of Commerce, senior centers.
Excellent.
Yeah, I've had people tell me that, well, we used to have, auto mechanics when I went to school, and it's like, we still have all that. It's like they don't understand all the offerings that we actually provide in this district. It's kind of frustrating at times.
Yeah.
Same thing with academics. I think it was 2 years ago, maybe, we had all three high schools were on academic challenge. One of them won. It was Valley Forge, yeah. Yeah, so, and people they didn't understand that, and I had to explain to them that
Right.
you're saying that, the academics aren't there, but we just were on
Right.
television winning academic challenge, so
Okay.
it's
How can we
really
promote
that
that? How
community.
can we get it out to the
Right,
community?
it's really that community
and make
perception.
everyone aware?
Got it. Okay, got it. Something you'll hear me say 1,000 times is people need to hear things 11 to 15 times before it sinks in. It's the way we're wired. So if we say one time we won academic challenge, awesome. We need to say it 15 more times. It's on the website, it's on this, and the 15th time somebody gets it, like, oh my gosh, there's something cool going on over at Parma because we did that. So, yeah, promote the heck out of it. Got it. Any other challenges? How are we doing on time? I'm be respectful of your time. We're good?
It's 5:30.
Okay.
Got a half an hour.
It's 5:30.
Okay, thank you. Any other challenges we don't want to address?
Getting the involvement of the community, you can see that our school board meetings and council meetings are not very well attended.
Right.
So people are very profuse in their complaints, but they don't either want to do the work of attending and participating. How can we get them
Right.
to participate?
Yep. This is not just Parma. You see this all over. Okay, challenges. Let's go to, you can't end on threats for Pete's sake, so let's do threats right now. So what are things out there, and Linda, you said it a moment ago, what are things out there, we can't control it. They might be coming, but we got to be aware as we're planning for our things. So you said state funding?
Yeah.
What were you saying, Linda?
Well, the draining of resources through the vouchers that have been greatly expanded to 450% of the poverty level creates a huge threat to public schools, in my opinion.
What else? What are other threats we gotta prepare for, be aware of?
See, I hear about the vouchers, and I understand, I guess, your opinion on that. And when we talk about this, and there's been several times in different board meetings where this voucher has been brought up by people up here, and there's been, someone, a political action committee promoting during a school board meeting that they're like against these vouchers and things. And I feel very strongly that alienates a portion of voters that still care about the public school system, regardless of sending their children to Catholic schools. I don't believe that there are a lot of people, statistically, there's not a lot of people that are sending their children to Catholic schools because they don't believe in the district.
Yeah.
Most of the people sending their children to Catholic schools, it's because they want a faith-based education. And so those parents that are sending their children to Catholic schools for the faith-based education, we need their vote. And they do believe in the school system. They receive services from our school system.
Okay.
And I feel like when we continue to share our opinion on the voucher, it alienates
Got it.
those people.
Okay. Appreciate that. What are other threats? What are other things out there? You mentioned, I don't know if it's a threat, but there is a lot of you've got a lot of schools
A lot
in
of
the area.
competition.
So not threat sometimes a negative, but it's legit, right? If they are competing for the same amount of students. Okay. What else? What are things out there that we got to be aware of?
Well, just things like the pandemic, things you can't control.
Yep.
You don't know, or the general state of the economy. Is a recession coming? Are people going to feel the pinch? And we have a lot of older people that live in our district,
Yep, totally.
so they are affected first and foremost.
Yep.
And a big threat is our deficit in year 4.
Yep.
Everything that we said we wanted to do, if we don't have the money to do that, classes are going to get cut, services are going to get cut. That's the biggest threat that we can address, because we can't do anything about what the state does.
Right.
Can't do anything about some of the other things.
And
The economy, we can't do anything about that.
How that
But-
then impacts morale, how that impacts perceptions, and how, okay, got it. Other threats. I would just want to be aware of is just social media. It can be a good thing, but it can, in 5 minutes, things can go way south. You got a 14-year-old girl, and TikTok is the worst thing that was ever
Oh,
invented.
my goodness gracious.
With all my heart, I wish it would just go away. Any other things as threats we need to be aware of?
Well, you have the social media, you have mental health of
Yep.
the kids. I mean, they see an entire
Violence
world.
in the schools through guns coming in.
Yeah.
You never know when a shooter's coming in, which is
Yep.
a big threat.
Absolutely. Okay, let's talk about opportunities. What are some things that are out there? We really can't control them, but man, if we work with them, if we harness a partnership with a university, a partnership with a business, having a grant, doing, once again, things exist out there, but man, if we worked together somehow, we can do what we want to do. What are some opportunities?
Right. So I know with the Chamber of Commerce, we have been involved with them quite a bit. So that is a big opportunity. I think that could be expanded on.
Excellent. What else?
Relationships with our local leaders,
Local political leader?
political leaders, yeah,
Locally and
mayors, et
state.
cetera, council people,
And state.
and state, yeah.
Okay. What else? What are other opportunities you see?
I think we have a lot of opportunities to work with local businesses to
Yeah.
place our career tech students into jobs with them when they graduate.
So you see, like interns, opportunities, that kind of thing?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, excellent. What else? How about any Tri-C, local universities, educational, are there any kind of partnerships?
Right,
here?
we do have partnerships
Yeah,
with
we do.
Tracy a little bit. They do a CCP over that way. They can go to those schools. I know BW is also another one that we are partnered with, and Cleveland State. So there are those opportunities for kids. Although I'd rather see it in-house.
Any other folks you thought, man, we just need to partner with that foundation or that university or that group or that whatever?
We have the Partners in Education Foundation. I know that that's a pretty strong group.
Okay.
PTAs.
PTAs?
PTA is pretty strong in our community, in our school district.
Okay. I kind of the close cousin, opportunity for additional community engagement, opportunity for additional, we've talked about some of those things. Okay. Any other areas of opportunity? Okay. Going to round out here with this last exercise. And you guys
I'd like, you know what, on that go back to that opportunity.
Yeah.
What I would like to see is community members or business members come into the school and maybe teach a class for a week
Ooh, yeah.
to get a feel what's going on. I did that once when I was in Marietta. I had a CEO of Fry Scientific come in. She left after a day.
Yeah. Bob
Does that help
Dillingham
the-
does that.
Yeah, Bob does that a lot.
Yeah, he does. I don't
I know,
think-
it was just kind of funny. She goes, I don't know how you do it. I left. She left.
What's the idea? Just
But I think it'd be a good idea for people to come in and see it.
the idea is we're just trying to get people in the schools.
Right, get them to see what's going on. And Bob is very good. Bob Gillingham is very good at that. I know he comes in and teaches some finance courses and
Finance
stuff.
courses.
It's really good.
Okay. That's the last piece I want to talk to you about is culture. And that, I mentioned a little of this when we were interviewing for this, but has anybody ever been to a place where you walk in the front door, whether it's a school or a place of worship or a park or something, it's positive. I mean, it's just like, dang, what's going on here? It's a positive place. Is that an accident? No. Is this management is like, everybody show up and we're going to see how this shakes out, and wow, everybody just turned out to be positive. No way. Places that are overwhelmingly positive, they clearly define the specific behaviors we want to see. You communicate the heck out of that. You reinforce it and you reward it. That's how you get a great culture, right? But it takes a lot of time, a lot of effort, and you guys got a good thing going. So to build upon that, I'm going to do two quick exercises with you, which is something I'm doing with your staff and everyone else. The first one, what kind of a culture do you want Parma to have? What I mean by that is kind, caring. Just give me, what are some, if you walk in the front door here, and if you see the way people are interacting with everyone else, how do you want this place to feel? What are some words?
Positive.
Positive. What else?
Welcoming?
Welcoming. Welcoming, she said.
Welcoming. What else?
Kind.
Kind. What else?
Did she say so? Kind. I was saying happy.
Happy. What else?
Empathetic.
Pathetic.
I'll turn off my counseling degree.
Accepting?
Accepting. You guys are getting the hang of it? Okay, what
I
else?
feel like that's a big one.
Somebody say fun.
Fun.
Fun. Thank you. Excellent. What else?
Trustworthy.
Trustworthy. Excellent.
50th grade in Redmond.
Any others?
Dynamic.
Dynamic.
Like pride, like school pride. You know, you're proud that you go to this school. You're
Right.
you're proud to be an invader. You're proud to be a patriot.
Excellent. Okay. We want to have a place that is positive, welcoming, kind, happy, empathetic, accepting, fun, trustworthy, dynamic, pride. That's awesome. Again, what are the chances of it just everybody just show up? We'll see how this thing shakes out. Of everyone being positive, welcoming, kind, happy, empathetic, exceptional. Zero. There's zero chance, right? I'm just a huge believer in this. If we want this to happen, and again, this is the exact exercise I do with folks. Okay, so if that's the case, what I'll say to your staff members is, you can only control you. In this whole crazy world, all you can control is you. So what are you doing each day? What are you bringing to the party? You can't say the place is negative if you're bringing the negative. You can't say a place is dull if you're not bringing something exciting. What are you doing to make the place awesome? So that's the next step. If that's the case, because collectively, this is great. This is what we want to create. All right. So now I'm going to ask you all as well, what behaviors do you want to see from yourselves as well? Because you guys, you're the role models here. How do we treat each other at Parma?
Respect.
Okay, but what does, that's great. What does that look like? What is, when someone is respecting someone else, what behaviors are they exuding? Like that person is demonstrating respect. What do the behaviors look like?
Shaking hands, greeting one another.
Greeting. How do we do it here? We say good morning. We say good afternoon. We say hello. We greet one another, right? That's how we roll here. What else? What are others? If you saw the behavior, like that's a place that's positive, welcoming, kind, happy, empathetic. What do you see?
We respect each other.
Respect. Well, what does that look like? What is that? What is an action?
You listen to the other person.
There we go. You actually are present. Have you ever been in somebody's company who you're trying to say something that's important, and you can see in their eyeballs that they're just thinking what they're going to say back? I mean, actually, if somebody listen is like a magic thing, right? So how do we do it? We actually listen to each other. We're present. What else?
Positive, welcoming body language.
Oh my Lord, yes. So, are we aware how this, once again, most people kind of blunder through life. Are you aware of how you're impacting others? Most communication is nonverbal, right? So, do I look miserable? Do I look like I don't want to be here? My wife had to tell me years ago, I have it when I'm thinking. Do you guys have this? I look like I want to just throttle somebody. I didn't realize that, but that's my thinking face, and people misinterpret that. So are you aware of your body language? Are we smiling? Are we being kind? What else? What's other behavior?
Honesty.
Honesty. Amen. How do we roll here? We're honest with each other. Other behaviors you would want to see as you're walking through the halls, you're seeing people
Supportive of each other.
supportive. We're going out of our way to make sure that the next person has what they need to succeed, whether it's a student, whether it's a colleague, whether it's a parent. We're being supportive,
Accepting.
accepting. Others. Here's where I'm going with this. The idea is, any others? The idea is, at the end of this, what we'd like to have is, and we'll present it, you guys can decide what to do with it, but it's the Parma way. This is how we roll. I mean, if we all collectively want to have this, it's interesting. These are going to be about this. People say the same things because this is the kind of place people want. But the idea is, you can't expect somebody else to do it. Everybody has to bring it themselves, right? So at the end, we're going to have a laundry list of the Parma way. And then if you're good with it, we would then begin to roll that out. And these are behaviors that we're asking to people to have. And we would ask you as board members, administration, to please model that. Please model that behavior. Okay, so we've got that today. So I've got that information from you all. We're going to take this information and pair it with what we got from administration last week. We're now going into phase 2. Phase 2, again, we're going to do the focus groups. We're doing the online surveys, and we're doing the individual calls. If there's anybody that you would like to have interviewed specifically in the community, make sure that the superintendent is aware of that, and we'll reach out to call.
I'm sorry, so the people, whoever you're reaching out to, or Charlie, you're reaching out to?
The people on the call list are the 3 mayors.
Yeah.
Okay.
The others, we're inviting to focus groups, we're encouraging them to attend. There's certainly a scope of work that
Right.
Impact Group has contracted with us, so at this point it's 3 phone calls and it's to the 3 mayors.
Okay.
If there are others, certainly, we can have that conversation and I can see what we can do in terms of
Yes.
potentially expanding the scope of work.
Okay, thank you.
We got that, so then we'll gather that information. The next time you'll then see from me, I'm going to be reporting back to you all as to what we've heard from the community and what the logical goals and objectives are, and that's when we discuss. And you guys say, boy, that makes sense. Let's tweak that. Let's figure that out. Does that make sense where we're coming back to the next piece? It'll probably be about a month and a half when we're back.
I have another question. So the phone calls that are being made are to the mayors of the 3 cities, Parma Heights, Parma, and Seven Hills. And so you're getting information from them as to how they feel about the district, or?
You can speak more to
Yeah,
that,
I mean,
Tom.
really, it's the same with the focus groups. How are we doing? How are the schools? How are we supporting you? What are we doing well? What are some things we could do better? How can we better support you? How can we communicate? With those questions, it surfaces the same with the mayors. I'm going to say, how are the districts doing in your mind? What is going well for you? What could be better? How can we communicate? And then just things just surface as we just have that discussion. Cool. Okay. Any questions for me as to what we're doing or what the next steps are?
No.
Okay. Everybody, thank you for your time this evening. I appreciate it. If anybody has any, there's like a late night strike of absolute brilliance, please send that to the superintendent and he will email that to me and I'll make sure it's baked in.
Thank you.
How about polite?
Pardon me?
Being polite.
Polite?
That's being greeting each other, I suppose. But
Can do.
politeness that encompasses all of that, so.
Okay. I wasn't sure if you were saying to me to be.
Yeah, you be polite. No, I think
Okay.
we're fine, thank you.
So just so the calls are going to be made, and then we're meeting again in a month, and you're going to give us the information that way through a meeting, or are we going to receive
No, so
through email?
What'll happen is I'm going to, I'll then gather all the information, and I'm going to present what we heard from the community. And we're going to present it in an aggregate way, because we promise anonymity. And people say the darndest things in these surveys. So what we'll do is we'll have themes, right?
I have a question, and I'm sorry to interrupt while you're answering one, but so it is only those mayors, though? It's not,
That's
you're-
the phone calls, but there are going to be focus groups of others as well. There's going to be a whole open
Oh, gosh,
community
yes.
piece.
So there's the 3 individual phone calls, just because we want to hear what the mayors have to say. But there are focus groups with students. There are focus groups with parents. There are focus groups with community members. A lot.
so
of
that's
gathering.
where my question was
Yes.
then. So these focus groups with the community, parents, and students, so the community, how are you gathering those people? How are you getting them?
We're going to advertise in all the different ways that we do. Social media, we have the email system. We have outside emails now, too, that people have signed up for through that Parma Press. If there's other ways, avenues, we'd be more than welcome to communicate
Community
in
Observer.
those.
Would it-
No, the Parma Press is something that we put out internally.
Would it be beneficial, I mean, so the community members who do send their children to Catholic schools within our district, are they going to be a part of, or how will they get this information that there are focus
We're going to have
groups?
community focus groups too, and
But I think she's asking how we can communicate with them. I mean, honestly, I think our social media is very robust. I mean, our number of parents on social media compared to, just community members in general, parents are a definite percentage of it, and I don't have exactly what it is, but our social media reach is pretty expansive. But if there's other ways that you want us to advertise, we'd be more than welcome to explore those.
Through your liaison?
Yeah, also good. Also very good.
Because I feel that it's very important that they are involved. They do receive services from the district. They're a part of the district. They're not going anywhere. So I think that it's very important that they feel involved and that they feel heard as well.
Any and all ideas you guys have to communicate to everybody in the community, we totally want to speak to those folks. We, senior citizens, how can we talk to, anybody we can talk to, please, yes.
We have senior liaisons as well, and so we'll make sure that they're talking about it in their travels.
Okay. Thank you very much. We'll see you all probably in 5 or 6 weeks. I'll be presenting that information, and we'll go from there.
Thank you.
Thank you,
all
Tom.
so much.
Appreciate it.
And thank you again, board, for that. We appreciate you being able to come in on a Tuesday night for this purpose. I think it was meaningful and productive, and it's really just one step. We're looking forward to continuing to work with the Impact Group. Thank you, Tom.
Thank you all for having me.
Thank you. Is David here?
Say it again.
Is David here?
I told him 6 o'clock, so
Okay, so,
I think we can adjourn and
All right.
use the bathroom. And
okay, all right. I move to adopt Resolution 2024-01-27 to go into executive session related to purchase and sale of property.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adopt Resolution 2024-01-27. Are there any questions or comments from the board? Seeing none, roll call, please, Mr. Nucio.
Mr. Ruda.
Yes.
Mrs. McTaggart.
Yes.
Ms. Kohar.
Yes.
Ms. Krupek.
Yes.
Mr. Vaughn.
Yes.
Be it resolved that the Board of Education of the Parma City School District hereby adjourns to executive session at
5:52.
5:52 PM relative to personal matters, specifically the purchase and sale of property. Note, Ohio law provides that school boards may meet in executive session to discuss legal issues, property issues, and personnel issues. Because of the confidential nature of these issues, this part of the meeting is closed to the general public, and the matters to be discussed are not specifically listed on the agenda. No resolution will be voted on during executive session. All voting must take place in open session. We're now in executive session.